Hi, I'm Olivia Mazikas. I'm going to be the makeup artist today, and this is a model, Lauren Bellier. So we've already done her foundation, and I've highlighted a bit with concealer in the high points of her face, so under her eyes in a triangle motion, her chin, her cupid's bow, down her nose, and a bit on her forehead. And this is just to bring light to those areas. I've also set it with Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Powder, and now I'm going to go on to doing a liquid highlight. So for that, I'm going to be using the Sephora drops in Morning Light. And to apply that, I'm going to be using a beauty blender. So I'm just picking it up on the ends. And you want to put this just on the high points of the cheek. So right down here. So you're just dabbing that in. You can go up here if you want to. And you can apply it with your fingers as well, but the beauty blender works pretty well. Perfect. So now I'm going to set the rest of her face, and for that I'm just going to use a pressed translucent powder and a big fluffy brush. And this is so that when we blend our powder products, it's not on a wet base, so it blends out a bit easier and just gives a nice overall finish. Next I'm going to contour, so for that I'm going to use the Anastasia contour kit and the color Fawn, and just using a contour brush from Real Techniques to really get in that cheekbone. So you want to find the spot that the cheekbone goes in, so right there, and you want to make sure not to have too much product on you and to blend upwards so that this area stays as clean as possible. So we're just going to start out there and blend up. And you want to focus most of the product on the outside of the face. And then with whatever's left over on your brush, bring it in, do like a nice swooping motion under the cheek. And from there you just build the intensity to your liking. And you also want to hit the temple, this area here, right above the cheekbone, and that'll make it stand out a bit more as well. And you can blend that up onto the forehead. And just do the same thing to the other side. And that cheekbone. And also you want to hit right here on the jaw just to accentuate that point and carry it under the chin. Do that to both sides. Once that's complete, I'm going to warm up the face using bronzer, and today I'm going to be using Matte Give Me Sun, and I'm going to be applying it with a MAC 135 brush. It's fluffy enough to blend out the face, but still is thin enough to fit right in that cheekbone spot. So I'm just going to pick up very lightly the product, barely touching, and you just want to go right on top of that contour, and then in circular motions, just warm up that spot on the skin. Like that. You can also use this just to warm up the forehead a bit as well. also going to be dragging this down the neck so everything matches. Perfect. And then you do the same thing to the other side. Perfect. So now before moving on to the next step, I'm going to use the Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Powder and my Beauty Blender again, just to bake these areas right here, and it'll really sharpen up the contour. And I'm also going to do it right under her eyes, just so it brightens that area as well before moving on. So just dip into it a bit, and you really just want to go right where this earlobe ends, right there. You want to just push down. And I don't bring that in all the way, I'm just using that on the sides of the face to really sharpen up that line. Do the same on the other side. And then under the eyes, just right in this area. And again, this will just bring more light to the spots on the face that you want to accentuate. And also prevent creasing later on in the day. So while that's cooking, I'm gonna grab my highlight now. And today I'm gonna be using the Mary Luminizer. And I'm gonna be applying it with a stippling brush. I like applying it with one of these brushes, the dual fiber, because it has the density that really packs on the product, but the bristles at the top are spaced out enough that it blends it really nicely as well. So I'm just gonna pick some of that up and just go right over where I put that liquid highlight earlier. So just this area right here. And I connect it right above the brow. Just like that. And I like to pack it on. And I like to also take it down right on top of that cheek so that when she smiles, brings everything together. Oh, look at that. So the other side. Top of that brow again. Other places that I'm going to drag this is on her chin, right there, that area, and right here on the forehead. And then I'm going to grab the smaller brush. I just like to use just a little dome brush like this, little pencil brush. And I'm going to pick that up and put it right on the Cupid's bow. Just like that. And this will really highlight the lips, bring light to them, and make them look a bit poutier. And I also like to highlight on the nose, the tip right here, just to bring more light and make it look more buttony, and also right here on the nose bridge to make the nose look straighter. And we're going to diffuse that a bit once we brush away the bake. So now I think it's time to do that. So I'm just going to brush all that away, and as you can see, it leaves it looking a lot cleaner. So I'm just going to come around a bit on the other side. And I'm also going to use this, I'm going to grab a different brush, something a bit more small. And just brush away all the excess under the eyes. And I'm also going to diffuse highlight a bit. That. Perfect. And then the next step for me is going to be applying blush. So I'm just using the Milani Luminoso blush. And I'm just taking it on an angled kabuki like that. And this will just mesh together the highlight and contour so it doesn't look like two lines. So I'm just going to ask you to smile. You're just going to take most of the product right on the apple of the cheek, and with whatever's left, I'm going to blend it back into that contour, and that's just going to make sure that everything meshes together really nicely. So I'm going to do the other side. Smile. And then drag it back. Just like that. So at this point, I'm going to grab a finishing spray. This is the Scandinavia one. And I'm just going to set everything that we've done so far. So yeah, close. Sorry, you might experience a bit of wetness. So I'm going to put that out. There you go. So this will make everything look a lot more dewy and less cakey. So that's it for the skin. The next step is going to be the brows. So I'm going to get the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and this one's in dark brown. I'm going to start by just brushing up the hairs. Can you put your chin up for me? Because that's the direction you want it to go in, so that's what you have to fill them in. And then just taking the pencil, I like to underline the brow first just to get a good feel for the shape. So start right about here. Really get that arch. And then brush through. Gently. Then I like to really lightly itch forward to the beginning of the brow. I don't like to put a lot of product there, but I like to define the underline of it. Like that, and then I'm going to soften it out the spoolie. And then I like to also put this on the top of the arch just to define that line as well. And if you want to throw in some hair-like strokes at the front of the brow just for definition. I'm going to do the other side, and then we're going to finish off the brows with some powder. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to keep that spoolie on hand, and next I'm going to take the Anastasia Brow Powder in deep brown and taking the darkest color, so this one here, on an angled brush. I'm going to fill in the brow. I like using powders because it just appears a bit more natural. So right here. This one a bit. And then taking the lighter powder and just going to kind of push up on the brow just fill it in a tad. I don't really like to go all the way to the front. Just like that. Now I'm going to do the other side.
Again, taking that lighter powder.
And softening the whole thing with the spoolie again. Perfect. So then the last step of this is going to be brow gel, and this is just going to ensure that everything is set and won't move, and that your brow hairs are going in the direction that you want. So I'm going to use clear brow gel. This is from Maybelline. I'm just going to go upward strokes. There we go. Just like that. Then I'm just going to diffuse everything to end it. Like this. Perfect. And just the last minute highlight, I'm going to grab it again on this little brush and go right in the inner corners. And underneath the brow, just to bring a bit more light to it. You'll lift it. See the difference? Perfect. Now you can add any kind of eye makeup or lip product you want.